Well, thank goodness for Judicial Watch, because you know what they're doing? They're addressing and trying to answer some tough questions. January 6th was a terrible day, but not many people are asking the tough questions about law enforcement, what they were doing. What about Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell? What role did they have? You know, the Capitol Police, they ultimately report to the Speaker and the majority and minority leaders of the Senate. And no one's asking him tough questions about security. Judicial Watch filed lawsuit today against the U.S. Capitol Police, seeking the release of emails and videos concerning the riot at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. These questions need to be answered. Tom Fitton, welcome back, president of Judicial Watch. Are you frustrated at all that you have to kind of lead the way here? These are fundamental questions that I think should have been addressed weeks ago by Congress.
Well, it really is outrageous. This is no surprise that you have these major stories where no one's really doing any investigations. What happened on that day? Where are all the videos? We saw selectively edited videos during the impeachment trial. What else is out there? We want to see the videos. And there's questions about the lack of security preparation given the size of the crowd. What happened there? We want email communications. Now, of course, Congress conveniently exempts itself from the Freedom of Information Act. And we think, though, there's another way to get the records through a lawsuit under the common law right of access to public records. The law generally is we have a right to see records. And they told us that they're not public records. So it's now the position of Nancy Pelosi and presumably Chuck Schumer that nothing can be turned over to the public, at least under a court process here. They think they're exempt from any public disclosure requirements of any kind. And this is the same group that's calling for a commission to investigate everything that went on.
Well, I think that commission, they want to emphasize, you know, what did President Trump say, the lead up, the weeks, the months, the cry about the election. We all have serious concerns. But, you know, we saw the videos, and let's roll some of them right now, of people walking right by cops who are not in any way pushing back. In fact, in this footage right here, you see a cop who seems to be, you know, encouraging people to come approach the steps. I've also seen footage where police officers are just standing there. Now, you know, it's tough to ask these questions. You know, right away, it'll be assumed, oh, you're not supporting the cops. You're somehow undermining law enforcement. That's not the case. We don't want this to happen again. But someone's got to ask these questions. And we already know, by the way, the mainstream media, the narrative is a dishonest one in many ways, isn't it?
It is. And, you know, there were locations in the Capitol that were violently breached. And there were other locations, as you see in the video, where people were able to walk through. That raises legal questions about the ultimate charges for some of these people. Some of them went in there as a result of violence and should have known they were not allowed to be there. Others, they could walk up to the Capitol, it looked like. But we also want, now that video you showed is video from the outside, right? Presumably a private citizen, and others took those videos. We want the videos from the government. What's the government hiding on these documents, on these videos? And plus, you know, there's all this back and forth about requests for assistance that were denied or not made. Where's the email communications about that? But why is this a state secret? You know, we wanted to impeach a president over it, and yet the basic information still being kept away under lock and key by Pelosi and her gang.
You know, this moment still confounds me. I mean, the Capitol Hill police officer seems to be directing this gentleman to the Senate chamber. Right this way, rioters. And actually, there's another picture of that cop and those people inside the Senate chamber. He's almost escorting them around. And let's face it, there are people wondering if Democrats had a motive and may have wanted to not exactly push back against these people who were very upset, that there may have been a degree of tacit approval. This is the kind of thing that I'd like to be answered. Might be false, might be true. You know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I know there are concerns out there that the police let them in. Democrats have raised concerns that the police let some of them in.
Yeah, but they did because the Democrats wanted them to come in.
Let's get the video out there, and we'll see. We're going to see dramatic evidence of probably violence, other evidence where the police seemingly were escorting the demonstrators inside or the rioters inside. Just get the video out. What's the secret? Why did we get to see deceptively edited videos from the House impeachment managers. Where's the core information? And again, who knew what and when about the security risks, and why wasn't there appropriate security at the Capitol given the risks that we now all knew that they knew about?
You are very good at filing lawsuits. What's your sense? How's this one going to go, and how long does this stuff usually take?
It's going to be tough because we're asking not under the FOIA, we're asking under this common law right of access, and it's going to be, frankly, a decision by Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Democrats on the Hill to decide whether they're going to be transparent or whether they're going to engage in a cover-up about what went on January 6th.
And media are completely incurious, or for the most part, incurious about this.
Well, they can send in amicus briefs with us, Greg. You know, maybe they can help us with the lawsuit.
That would be great.
I doubt it'll happen.
Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch, thank you very much for what you're doing. To be continued.
You're welcome.